Hello, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Zach Collins, and this is Financial Education. Today, I thought I'd go through a YouTube trope in finance and talk about the different ways that you can make $100 a day. I will, however, be putting a spin on it and go through the positive and negatives of how you can get that $100 a day based on the different asset classes you could decide to invest in. I'm going to go through a range of different asset classes and types. I'll be going through cash, gold, Bitcoin, stocks, both domestic and international, and also property. That sounds interesting. Please strap in, folks. You're in for a ride. I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler here, but the numbers I'm going to go through are completely unrealistic for the vast majority of people on Earth. I'm astonished that people think it's achievable for the majority. You'll have to keep watching to find out what I'm talking about, but let's dive in. Let's start with the basics. Cash. If you want to make $100 a day just holding cash, how do you do it? You should be able to get some good interest income, keeping your money in a savings account or a term deposit. Today, you'll find that the savings accounts will pay you somewhere around about 5% interest on your cash. So if you want to earn $100 a day, how much does it actually turn into from a weekly, monthly, or an annual basis? So $100 a day is about $700 a week. Think about it like that way. So $700 a week is $3,041 a month, or $36,500 each year. Using math, you can work out how much money you need to hold in a savings account, earning 5% interest a year in order to make the equivalent of that $100 a day. So the math equation is simple. You divide the amount of money you want to earn, in this case, 36,500, by the return percentage being 5%. So 36.5 grand divided by 5% gives us $730,000. This is how much you need to be holding in a savings account in cash in order to be making the magic $100 a day. Now, this is not a realistic number for most people to be holding. I personally wouldn't keep more than about 5% of my net worth in cash. It's too conservative for me. Everyone's different. Now, I do know someone that's 100% cash. Look, we're getting a bit off topic here, so let's get back and discuss our next one, which is gold. I'm also going to lump in Bitcoin here too, because you could treat them in the same way. Why am I lumping them in together? I have heard people call Bitcoin the gold of crypto. It should be treated as a store of value. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Like most people, look, I have dabbled in crypto when it exploded at the end of 22, so end of 20, start of 21, but I haven't touched it in over 18 months. And I'm unlikely to ever put any more money into crypto. Look, don't get me wrong, there's a good chance that we'll have digital currency in the future. There might even be a universal currency that everyone around the world adopts. I just don't think it will be any of these self-made cryptos. It's going to be a cryptocurrency created by governments. Look at this, going off topic again. Now, the reason I'm lumping Bitcoin and gold together, neither of them generate income. I think you might be able to do some options trading with them, but as a general rule, the only return you get would be through capital appreciation. And that's not what this video is about. We're here to find how to make this sweet, sweet passive income. So how much money do you need to invest in Bitcoin and gold in order to make $100 a day? Considering they don't pay anything, whether you have $0 invested or infinite money invested, you'll be making the same. Nothing. Look, it's not to say don't buy it. If you feel strongly about these sorts of assets, go ahead. Who am I to stop you? But if you want to be specifically generating passive income, that's not where I would be putting my money. When it comes to stocks, there are two different types, domestic and international. Now, it's too hard to go through every single stock. So when I talk about Australian stocks, what I'm talking about is the market as a whole. And when I talk about international stocks, again, the market as a whole. Obviously, if you're a stock picker, there are some that don't pay out dividend at all, and there's some that pay out a massive yield. But look, we're just going to keep it simple here. I'm going to talk about three different markets when it comes to stocks. You've got Australian stocks, US stocks, and then just international stocks in general. If you look at the yield trend for all three markets, you'll see that the US stocks have the lowest yield. This is partly due to their taxation system, and look, no offense to them, but it doesn't really work that well considering the massive deficits they have. Companies in the US, they tend to focus towards growing the value of the stocks over paying out a dividend. In Australia, however, due to the way that we tax capital gains and with the benefit of franking credits, we pay out much larger dividends and you see the yield climb. General international stocks overall pay about somewhere in the middle between Australia and US. The US market has a yield of about 1.5%, international stocks sitting at about 2%, and Australian shares are double that at around 4%. So again, using the same formula we did with cash, where we took how much money we want to earn each year and divided by the dividend return, that's how much we need invested in that type of asset class in order to generate the $100 a day that we're looking for. So for US stocks, using that calculation means we're just over $2.4 million. International stocks require $2 million, and Australian stocks require $1 million. This is even larger than the 700 grand required for cash. Now, look, I don't know why YouTubers they make this sort of video so often. It's unattainable and unrealistic to have this kind of wealth, especially considering that they're marketing their content towards younger people who, more often than not, will have more debt than they do assets. Now, one thing you do need to be mindful is that what we're talking about today is it's essentially yield. How much income does a certain asset class pay out? What we're not talking about is total return over a long period of time. Most asset classes perform about the same. In a particular year, one will do better than the other, but over time it tends to even out. Now that total return also includes capital gains. While capital gains doesn't generate a consistent income to fund your lifestyle or this $100 a day you might be targeting, it does have an impact on how much wealth you are building, and so it's still something you shouldn't ignore when it comes to how you structure your investment portfolio. Lastly, what I want to talk about is investment properties. I've mentioned a few times that I have an apartment that we rent out. We rent it for $600 a week, so pretty close to the goal of $100 a day. Now, I reckon our portfolio of property is valued at around about 600 grand. And I'm a big proponent of the 0.1% rule for apartments, at least in Canberra, where I live. Now, I've heard other international finance YouTubers talk about the 1% rule. We're talking about similar things, but it's also vastly different. When they say 1%, what they mean is that the rent of the property is 1% of the value each month. If it's worth $100,000, for example, it means they're renting it out for $1,000 a month or 12 grand a year, which is a 12% yield, massive yield. When I say the 0.1% rule, what I mean is 0.1% of the value per week. So if I'm getting $600 a week for my apartment, working backwards, it's worth about 600 grand. That's probably in the right ballpark for my specific unit. The big difference is 0.1% per week is 5.2% per year, which is less than 0.5% the yield that these people are talking about online. So if that's what you're chasing, it's very hard to reach. And actually, when you're talking about yield, that 0.1%, it kind of works fine for apartments. For houses, the yield is even worse. It's 0.07% roughly, which is about 3.5% to 4%. Now, with other investments, there's no ongoing cost. You put your money in the investment and you reap the rewards. No action needs to be done on your behalf. When you have an investment property, however, it's going to be bills from the government, or there's going to be maintenance or upkeep or management fees or interest on a loan if you've got one, etc. It never ends. Property can be a good way to make passive income, but it takes a long time to actually be making a profit. For the majority of the time you own it, you'll be losing money and definitely not making $100 a day. Hopefully, I've been able to give you a better understanding of the different ways that you can put your money to work and make that $100 a day, and probably dispel a few myths that these finance YouTubers are spouting. If you have any more questions, please feel free to drop a comment below and I'll answer it if I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.